everybody, and welcome back. Welcome to another video in the series of Mass Make March. Now, before you all start shouting at me, I know it is actually April. However, working on those 3 hashtags I have been recently, the Finding My Floor, which is about clearing up your room, using what I own, self-explanatory, and Mass Make March. They all go together. I've been working on them all. And I've got a couple more kind of mass make type things that I would like to share with you. And I'm going to carry on using the same hashtag just for the next couple of weeks. Anyway, that said, one of the other things that I found when I was clearing up and sorted out was all my envelopes. Now, I had more than I thought. Not only do we save them, but, you know, like a lot of us, family members save things for us as well. I sorted all my envelopes out into different types. And I have those that are plain and still look good and are usable. So I've put those to one side. I've got a pile of plain but old and tatty, good for junk journaling. And I've got some that are written on, you know, like that have come with birthday cards and things like that. Again, great for junk journaling, but need something on them. And I have a pile of these. You will recognise these. Good old business envelopes, junk mail envelopes. I'm sure that we all get them. Now, I want to show you what I do with these, and some have windows and some don't. It doesn't matter. We've got ideas for both. Before I show you what I do with them, I want to show you a couple that I've already made. Now, I want to stitch around these, and I haven't done that yet. Oh, do you know, I'm just going to put it... Oh, there we are. That's better. I haven't done that yet because I want to open them up and show you how they're made, but these will be stitched round. So, our first one here, a bit of a more of a gothic theme on this one. There we go. And this one is going to be stitched down the edges and possibly across the top here. And I want to show you the inside of this because I have not used anything fancy when decorating these envelopes. I'm using stuff that I have. This is an image from a magazine. All right, we've got washi tape and some odd stickers and an old playing card. I'll go more into that, but I wanted to just show you. Now, this clearly has come from one of these type envelopes. What happened to this bit, I hear you ask? Well, here we have the bit that got cut off, and this will be a little matching pocket. Now, this is something I want to show you. You will notice that this is the outside of the envelope. This is the inside of the envelope. So what we're going to be doing today is turning these junk mail envelopes inside out and using what is often quite a cool background pattern. So there's 2 ideas. My next one, this hasn't dried very flat. So again, this is going to be stitched and it's a pocket. All right. So again, this envelope was munted. It was really damaged. All that was left was a little bit around the window. This has got a little bit of coffee dyed paper, an offcut inside. This will be stitched around, and it takes, excuse me, one of those little business card, journaling cards or tags that I made in one of the previous videos. All right, so there's another one, an idea that we'll be exploring. Let me show you something else with this one. You will have seen me use this napkin before, but what you might notice is, now let me find a little bit of it to show you very quickly. Here we go. Look at the difference in colour. This is because it's picking up the blue of the inside of the envelope. So we're using that texture and colour that's already there to our advantage. All right, and that's come through in a really cool way. So it's another idea. Idea number 3. Here's our envelope. This was the outside. It still had the flap on this one. And so what I've done, I've turned it inside out. And this one I have used some inks to add a little bit more texture and colour. This one's going to be more a vintage. So here's a pocket. This is going to be a flip. Okay, so we're going to have a pocket here and a pocket here. And again, the lining, it's just an offcut of a magazine picture. So this will be stitched along the top and the bottom, and that will be the hinge attached in the junk journal. So I will be finishing those off later, but my sewing machine has to be unpacked and popped up on my desk here. So I want to do all of the ones I make today together, just so that I'm not putting my machine in and out, in and out. So let's have a look. Let's see how we get on. Now, there's no set formula for this, because each of your envelopes is going to be different. Whether it's damaged, what size it is, whether it's you know, one of these with windows, whether it's one that hasn't been used, you know. So what you get, what you start off with may be different from what I've got here. But what I'm doing today is giving you some general ideas, hoping to get your creative juices flowing and using up some of these things which we all keep keeping. So you'll see what I've done there. I've taken a sharp craft knife. I have just slit down the sides and opened the envelope up. All right, dead easy. Just please mind your fingers. All right, and you can see this one's quite damaged. This one's been opened a little bit more carefully. Must have been someone other than me opening that one. Mine looked like this. All right. So what you then end up with is a pile of flat pieces of envelope like this with these lovely patterned insides. And you can see we've got a couple of different patterns here already. I've got some different colours as well. But what I do next, and this I guess is sort of the mass make bit, because when we actually turn them into something useful for our junk journals, it's going to be different depending on how big our envelopes are, what windows we have, how damaged they are. And that's why I've shown you 2 or 3 different examples. But the next thing I do in terms of mass making, so I split them all open first and I just trim off any rough edges like that. All right. We'll do that with, that one's not too bad. I might just get rid of that little bit. I might leave it. The side of this one's quite rough, so I am just going to trim. Now, I apologise if you can hear a chainsaw. Mr. Jem has just decided to go and put the chainsaw on. This one I'm not going to trim. This was our unused one. It's one of those pre-paper ply envelopes. And these are quite cool. You can use this to your advantage. And I think you'll see that this is a similar, where I've used it there. So this would have been folded. Like, in fact, it was one of these I used. So this is folded like this. Here's our flap that we're going to attach. This is our pocket. Now, I trimmed it down because this size is too big for many of the journals I make, so I've trimmed it down. All right, there you go. I've just told you how one of them was made. Dead easy. Anyway, I trim them all off like that. So what you then have is a big pile of open envelopes, and you'll see I've got some which are got this really cool black pattern inside. A lot of mine are blue because they tend to be business envelopes. There's a different pattern again. That's a bigger one as well. So this was a bigger, actually this was a bigger plain envelope. For some reason it got put in the business pile. Anyway, we'll see what we can do. Oh, look at this one. That's cool, isn't it? All right. Now, what you do from here is entirely up to you. I'm going to show you a couple of things. I've already shown you how that flip one was made. So you fold it over. Let's go the blue side out. Fold it inside out. You've got your flip. You've got your pocket. You can put what you like on this side. All right, dead easy. There's idea number one. Let's pick one with a window. All right, this one's not too damaged. And as I say, it doesn't matter if they're damaged. You just alter up your size or what you do. So we're going to turn it inside out. We don't want to see all the advertising. Oh, Forest and Bird. Okay. Important, but we don't want to see the advertising in our junk journal. Now, one of the easiest things you can do is to fold, hang on, how do I do it? Oh yeah. Have the window side towards you and fold down to make a flap. Now what you will see, because of the way this one has been cut, is the inside, what is now becoming the inside piece, is bigger. Don't panic about that. And what we're making is this one. You see that? Yeah, okay. So we're making something like this. So let's do it again. We've turned it inside out. This back bit, we're going to fold down to make a flap, making sure it doesn't come across the window. All right, we're going to fold that all the way across. Now, we're going to open it up. This bit, we're going to fold back the other way to the inside. Now again, we don't want that coming down over the window. So, gosh, I'm sorry about that chainsaw. He does pick his moments, doesn't he? Bless him. Just going to trim along there. Doesn't need to be incredibly straight, as long as it's not over that window. And the first thing we're going to do, just with a glue stick, I'll just find my glue stick that actually works. Oh, there it is, right in front of me. We're going to run glue along there. We're going to fold it over. Now what that's doing, that's strengthening the top of what is going to become a pocket. This is becoming our fold over, and as you can see from here, this is going to look a little bit odd if we leave it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick measurement from there. So from the edge of that window to the edge of the envelope is just about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to measure the same on this side. Let me double check that. And I'm going to put a little mark. Now, I know that I can't cut a straight line, so I'm going to whip out my trimmer, and using that mark as a guide, I'm going to trim off. At the same time, I'm just going to, I'll do that with scissors. I'm just going to take off that. I'm just going to make sure that edge is straight, actually. All right. So there you have the bare bones of your little pocket with the window. And as you can see, this one's come out slightly smaller than this one. And this one will make another pocket if you want it to, without a window. And that's how we ended up with this one. All right. So from here on in, right, so I tell you what we'll do. That's that one. I'm probably going to really confuse you today. That's that one. We're going to flip back to this one. What I am going to do is just take those bits off. Now, the other thing I did, because these haven't been used, these are these prepaid reply envelopes. I'm going to cut the licky sticky bit off. All right. Now this one, how did we do it? This way. So we're going to fold it in again. And that becomes a hinge. Now, like I say, for me, this is too long. So I'm going to cut off from each end. Now, to make sure I get the same, because I want this bit in the middle, I'm just going to put a little mark there and there. That's my okay. There is the bare bones of this one. All right. Now, this last one that I did, as I say, my envelope was really damaged. But let me show you how I did it. And that's just really simple. I took one like this, fold, cut. And again, you can cut at any size you want. Now I like things sort of quite even, so I'm going to go just over an inch from the edge, about there. This one I trimmed down the side again to make it quite even because I wanted it as a pocket. Put a notch in the top, you're done. Because this one wasn't damaged, I've also got this bit, which again you could just flip the top over, make a little pocket. You could turn this into, but we might turn this, we might use this as the basis of a hidden paper clip in a minute. Put that to one side for a moment. Now this one, I could cut this off and do exactly the same thing, but you can see how that's made. What I'm going to do with this one, because it's got this extra flap, I could turn it over like that and it would make another pocket. Or I could do, and I think what I will do, is I'm going to leave a little bit extra width here, so I'm going to trim down so that it's the same. Let's just do that with that little bit. I'm going to put a notch in the side here. I am just going to find the centre. I'm going to put a notch. Actually, I'm going to put a notch in both sides. and do something slightly different with this one. Now with this one, I'm going to take, and I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. You know what? I've been working my way through this pile of envelopes and just kind of doing whatever comes to me. And what's coming to me now is to line this with something attractive. Bear with me, I'm back. This is a brayer off sheet, which has come about when I've been doing some gel printing recently. What I'm doing is I'm going to cut 2 pieces, and I have just marked them out, that's where I'm cutting. 2 pieces like this. One of these I'm going to attach to the inside there. The other one I'm going to attach to the outside here. So I'll do that and then we'll come back. Right, that wasn't actually quite what I had planned. What I was thinking was that I wanted a pocket here and a pocket here, but I glued that down all over, so that's all right. We'll roll with it. I'll show you what I'm going to do, and we'll put an external pocket on this side instead. Oh my goodness. Right, what I want to do is to make this so that it is a side pocket that clips into your journal with 2 hidden paper clips. Does that make sense? Let me show you what I mean. If you imagine this is my journal page, there's going to be 2 hidden paper clips in here, and this will sit over the edge of my page, and we'll have a pocket here, and when you turn this over, I was going to have another pocket here, but we will have an outside pocket on this one instead. All right, all will be clear, don't panic. Right, so what I'm going to do, I've cut a little strip, as you saw, off the edge of that gel print, and I'm going to attach the hidden paper clips in here at the top and the bottom. Now, I've not done this before. I've only done little hidden paper clips, you know, like this. So we'll see if this works. This sprayer off sheet is actually kind of a piece of quite thick. It's almost hard. I would say it's about 160 GSM. So it's going to give this envelope some weight, you know, and some strength. So what I'm going to do, all around there, pop it in there, just slightly in from the edge. Actually, I am just going to shift it up a little because I've just thought about getting the sewing machine around there, and I want to be able to get the sewing machine around the edge without hitting the paper clip. Oh, sometimes I do think of these things in time. Right. And again, just slightly in from the edge so that I've got room to run the sewing machine around without it hitting anything. Make sure there's plenty of glue. Alright, I'm going to fold that over. Do you know what? I'm not going to be able to stitch around the edge, am I? You see, I'm thinking on my feet today. I can't stitch those 2 bits together if it's going to go over the edge of a page. Okay, this one won't be stitched. Oh my goodness. Alright. Do I delete this bit of the video and pretend to you that I know what I'm doing? No. You just go, I'm having one of those days. Right, Shush. Okay, I'm going to create a pocket to go on here, and we're going to trim and make this look nice and tidy. Oh my goodness. Do you know what? I thought I was all prepared today and I'd made some kind of prototypes, and never mind. We'll just wing it. You can just sit there and laugh at me. It's called keeping it real. Right. Okay, so this is a great way to use up those brayer off sheets as well, because what you can do now is decorate this in any way you like. Before you put the pocket on, after you put the pocket on, you know, you could do what you like. In fact, one of the things you could do, and I might just show you because this is something I wanted to show you. This is the white piece of a napkin. You know the piece you peel off when you want the pretty pattern? This is the white bit. And when I was using napkins the other day, I did say in my video, don't throw these away. Let me show you why. Let me just grab. Right, this is my watered down PVA glue. Ooh, which is stuck. Let's get my glue brush. Bless Mr. Jem and his chainsaw, but I'm not complaining because we are just kind of coming into autumn here now in New Zealand, and it will be another, hopefully another month or so, and we'll start needing to have our fire lit. It's the only heating we have is an open fire, you know, like a log burner, wood burner, and he's doing firewood, so I'm not going to complain. All right, you can see what I'm doing. I've put a thin coat of watered down PVA glue. I've added the napkin and I'm putting another thin layer over the top. Now, when I did bookmarks the other day, I did say to you, you sometimes get a better result if you wait until it's dry to put that coat over the top. And it's true. But you know what, today I just want to show you, oh my goodness, that sounded like a big tree falling. We've got a couple of dead trees that he's felling, ready for firewood. Yeah, I'm not waiting today because I just want to show you what this does. So even just with the white of your napkin, and I'll trim this off properly when it's dry, but what you will see is putting the white of the napkin over that brayer off sheet, you'll get a really cool textured effect. So we'll put that to dry. That will also allow the paper clips to dry, and then we'll come back and finish that one off. So let's put that over there out the way. All right, what else should we do? Let's take one of these black ones. I rather like these. The other thing you can do with these is to use them to make like a mini notebook journal cover. So let's trim this down and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to just trim it so that the sides, the two sides are even, and I'm going to come across. Again, I do like them to be about the same size, so again that's around about 1 3/4. I mean, this is kind of roughly, it's not exact. So here you've got, oh, that's better. Here you've got the cover. I mean, you could make this into a little journal or a notebook or whatever. I'm going to, right, I've been through my scrap paper drawer. I've pulled out just some odd bits and pieces. I've torn them so that they're just slightly, you see, just slightly shorter that way. What I'm going to do now is to fold them. there. Don't know how straight they are. Doesn't overly matter for something like this. Get rid of those bits. Well, not get rid of, but we won't use them today. There's the basis of a little notebook. Now this could go in under a belly band, it could be in a pocket, it could be anything. All right, so there's a few different ideas. What I'm going to do now, oh, and of course we've got this piece that has been cut off. What should we do with that? That's a nice sort of square, isn't it? There we go, guys. Another very simple little pocket which is ready for sewing and decoration. All right, guys, let's have a look at what we've got. We've got a little notebook and a folded down pocket. We've got a pocket with a window and a pocket without a window. We might do something slightly different with that one, we'll see. And then we've got another flippy flappy one. And we've got the one that's drying, this one that's drying, that's going to go over the edge of the page. So whilst that one's still drying, I'm going to speed up the video and just let you watch me decorate these. It's not going to be
Dime lo que quieres.
All right, guys, hopefully you could follow most of that. And as you will see, I've had my sewing machine out. Now, these are the ones that we started with this morning that I showed you. So we have got the window envelope with the top pocket there. And of course we can slide a little journaling card or tag or anything that we like in there. Now, because this has got the napkin collaged on both sides, you could use this as a floating pocket tucked into a belly band or into another pocket, or you could, of course, glue it down. You could also add some more embellishment on there if you wanted to. For me, it's going to stay like that for now, and then when it goes into a journal, it may get additional things on it. All right, so that was one of our first ones. This was our flip flap one. Again, you can see I've stitched around the edge, used the sprays on here, and we've got a pocket at the front here. This flap gets glued down, and we have a pocket at the back. And again, a couple of journaling cards that I've just tucked in there at the moment. They will probably get added to once it goes into a journal. All right, and then our more gothic themed ones, and you'll see this one I've stitched around the edge and all the way around. We've got our magazine page inside, and whatever we choose to put in here will show through. And the little bit that got cut off the end has just made a little type of coin envelope, or whatever you want to put in it. Now, my machine was playing up just here, so what I may do is just cut a little piece of paper. In fact, I may have a scrap of this envelope that matches and stick over that, because I don't quite like that so much. You can add closures to these if you want to. You could add a little bit of Velcro, or you could add a magnet. You could do a wraparound closure. Whatever takes your fancy, but today it's more about showing you just the idea and some basic some basic shapes, so that you can get going yourself. All right, let's have a look at the ones we did on camera. So our next one was the little folio. Now, I haven't stitched this one. I decided not to in the end, and we've used very much kept the pattern of the envelope here, and we've used the front as a pocket, and we've got a little tag in here. Oops, let's pull that back through, and this is just a actually this came in with the wallpaper samples that I picked up. And I just thought it was such a lovely kind of picture, and on both sides as well. So we've got a little tag that fits in the front pocket there. And we open it up. Got another little pocket here. And then a little notebook, folio, whatever you want to call it. And you could, of course, put another pocket on the back. You could line this with scrapbook paper if you wanted to. Whatever you've got hanging around. So that's another idea. Now this one, I'm going to grab a journal and show you how this works. Right, so as you can see, this journal's waiting to be added to. But with this, because it's got the hidden paper clips in, it will just slot onto... Why is that not slotting on all the way? Right, it's just a little bit stiff. That will slot onto the side of your page. Okay, and you have in here, we have a tag, journaling card, and on this side we've got a pocket. And at the moment that's got another little journaling card in. So more modern design. You know, I make lots of different journals. So you know, let's have some different designs. So that's that one, another base to work with. All right, now this one you saw me cover with the brown napkin, plain napkin, and then pattern sewing paper over the top. This is going to be another of the flip flap ones. So you could put a pocket or even a belly band on here. This bit gets attached in your journal, and then you have the pocket on this side. Now I wanted to stitch around this while I still have my machine out, but of course I hadn't lined the pocket. What that means is I'm going to have to carefully slip a piece of lining in there, but that's okay, that will work. I haven't decorated this one yet. It is actually still a little bit damp. I managed to get it to go through my sewing machine, but yeah, it will be decorated on another day. So when you're doing these flip flap ones, you can line them up with the edge of your page here and go out. You can put them at the bottom and come up. You can put them at the top and go up like that. Really up to you. You can also tuck them over the edge of your page like this. Now again, if you're going to do that, you will need to decorate the flap here. You can do them the other way too, this way, and then you'll have your front pocket or your belly band, whatever you're putting on there, and then sort of a hidden pocket coming out this way. Does that make sense? All right, so that one's waiting to be decorated when it's completely dry. Now let's have a quick look at this last one. Hopefully you could follow how I made this. Let me show you very quickly. This one is for when you've got sort of quite a big envelope with not too much damage. All I did basically was fold up the bottom to make a pocket, and then I tucked the edges over to give a top pocket here. Now with this as well, what you can do is to close up this edge, do your pocket, and leave a side pocket open. All right, I just want to pause on this one for a minute. And the other thing you'll notice is that I didn't decorate the back of the envelope. I rather like this black pattern, and I wanted that to show through, but I've done this quite specifically. If you've watched my mass makes over the last couple of weeks, you will know that I made these. So this was a bookmark, you know, like an advertising bookmark that I did, and these were a couple of tags and journaling card, a tag and a journaling card that I made from old business cards. So do check out the last couple of mass make videos if you want to see how I made those. But what you will see is that I've deliberately done those as a set. So these were 3 different mass makes, but they all go together. And actually this goes in there really nicely. I think I need to just trim about 5 mils off the end, off the bottom there, and then that lady will show in the window. So that one goes in there. These 2 go in our pocket at the front, and we have the matching set. Voila, there you go. All right, so I hope that's been fun. I hope it's kind of given you a bit of inspiration, because I'm sure that we all have those window envelopes, those junk mail envelopes or business envelopes hanging around in our craft space, and hopefully that's just given you a few ideas of what to do with them. So Mass Make March in April. I hope it's been fun. I will be back soon. Thank you for watching. Ka kite anō.